Good evening. It's July 2022, and this is an extra stream because tomorrow I won't be available to do the planned stream for Thursdays. And let's go start the show. Welcome back to the Soft in Software show for today. As this is the replacement for the Thursday stream, we are going to do some Office add-in development. And let's start the code window. Yeah, I need to put my code window in place. There we are. Let's click in Visual Studio. Did I click it? Did I click it? I don't think so. Yeah, something happened. I guess not. It's 10 p.m. right now here in the Netherlands, and it's still a little bit warm. It's not as hot as yesterday, but I disabled one of my lights to get somewhat of a low light situation, and it's getting less hot because it's too hot to sit below 2 lights. Actually, I have 4 lights because there are 2 on top as well. Let's go into the Outlook Blazor add-in. So we got an update on Visual Studio, I think. Tuesday. For 17.3 preview 4, if I'm correct. Loading the project. While we are loading, don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell, or follow me on Twitch. It's really slow loading. I'd say it's not loading. Loading 0 of 2 projects. What is going on here? Is that the price for having a new version? We can just sit here for a couple of hours and have a nice conversation. Discuss the things in the world. So today we are going to have a look at bringing back some information from the JavaScript Interop. There it goes. That's the speedy recovery. And try to get some information from the Java side of the world to the C# side of the world. That is JavaScript to C#. Last time we were able to just bring in a string from JavaScript and pick that up in .NET. We also need to do some cleaning up, I think. So last time what we did was disable all the collection of the processing of the attachment and just bringing back a text to the other side. This part is with a promise and I'm not using a promise. There's a promise too. This should all be able to be removed, so we don't use promises here. And bring it back to the normal thing. So what we have it here, C# side there, is we have a return object, a return value that's currently only a string. But we want to populate this with all the information about the item that we are reading in Outlook. And that is collected here. That's this thing. And we have a subject on that and an attachment name and some things like that. So let's just fake this and bring something like this. So this is returning a value. So what if we just put in something like, where is it? Mail read object for promise. Let's just make that something else. We have a mail read object for promise, but we are going to make that mail read object. And then we are going to stuff some fake information in there just to see if we can do something with that. Let's copy the name because we changed that. Copy. What we want to see for this object is subject. Some subject. And attachment name, and we are going to put some ID in here. And this last part, attachment base 64 data to make that human readable. And in this case, it's finding a return type of value thing. That's this thing. That brings back a value. Let's see what's this one. Go to definition. What's this? Oh, that's the interesting. There's no definition for mail read data. That's this one. Yeah, obviously that's this one because this is the name we gave it. So we have to look here. Go to definition. Subject. If there's no subject from. So we have 4 strings: attachment base 64 data, attachment ID, name, and subject. Let's reshuffle this a little bit. So we first need the attachment ID, and the attachment name, then the subject, and then the attachment base data. Let's do the same with the other things. So this is nullable. That's this thing. Yeah. Do the same here. ID, name, subject, and then base data. Then it should return a mail read thing. Mail read object. I want to bring this in, copy. So we try to go back here. And return that here. Some mail read data thing. Then we're going into here. Oh. There's the return value. Where's that? That's here. Return value. And the return value is this. That has a mail read data thingy there. That has a subject. That string empty. Then it will collect the email information and then change state. Could be null. Same here. Let's run this and see if it's breaking or not. To me, this JavaScript Interop is kind of magic. It's a kind of magic. One failed. Why is this failed? Or is it still building? No. This is failing, but I'm not sure why. Return value does not contain... Yeah, that's true. That should be something happened. Subject. Name. Okay, attachment name. Let's also change that on the JavaScript side. Oh, it is there. That's the base 64 value. I don't think this is required to do something. At least I don't think we are using this. Let's first build it and see if it's failing or not. Here we have 2 succeeded, so now let's run this. I have to sign in to the account. I think it's this one. Successfully registered the manifest file. It should trigger Outlook, and it is. That's the website. It's probably failing because it's not hosted. I mean, it doesn't have a host like Outlook. It'll read data as null, so now it's going to fail big time. Yeah. Do the same within Outlook. Let's inspect this. It's complaining about index razor C# 45. That's the same thing, so that should be checked. Same here. Let's try that again. Oh, Outlook is already running. Yep. Let's run again. Yeah, that's expected. At least it's not giving a runtime error now because we catch the null object there. Go in here, select the text attachment. At least the item with the text attachment. Now it's not reading the information, so that's interesting. Let's go into the uninitialized thingy there, fired. That's the index there. I don't think that's interesting because I think it's not used because this is just triggering the JavaScript interop there and disposing it here. But I don't know. What's the next one? First render is true. Should be somewhere here. First render. That's creating the JavaScript interop thingy. Then if this is not done, it will not get the email data. Oh, so yeah. So this will back out due to this. So we need to change this into if the mail read data equals to null or subject is empty, then it will go read the email data. You can also just remove this part. Because if the mail is not read yet, then it's automatically null. That's what I think. This one is logging, so that should be in place. Let's try again. F5. Oh, refreshing one of my windows in my monitor. Why is it repeating this? I think this is going into an endless loop. It's hanging, I think, because it's I think it's killing itself. It's repeating. It's going into an endless loop. Stop that. Why is it going into an endless loop? It's going into email data, then the status changed, and then apparently this still is null. That should not be right. First render is false. First render is false, then it's skipping this part. But this is not working the way it should be. What does it say here? Cannot read properties of undefined reading item. It's going into an exception. On the JavaScript item, this one is going to an error. This one is failing. No, that's not failing. At least. Let's go all the way. Let's see how far we can go back. There. Let's see before start. Then we're going into here. Bootstrap. First render is true. And it's importing the JavaScript, and then module is finished. It's going into C#. It's immediately going into this one. This one is failing. But why? Cannot read properties of undefined reading item. I don't think it's breaking on JavaScript. Let's put the break on the C# function, where we are going to get email data here. Let's run this and see where if we can break it somehow. And that's the first one, and we are now into something. We haven't selected anything yet, but it also should not go into the read data yet, because I'm not allowing it to read the item. Should only read it when I actually open the task pane. Because this is, yeah, that won't be doing this. Oh, the value is not right. I can't imagine that this is the thing that it's stumbling over, but put some information in here. Value is no longer here anymore. Try this again. Still doing the same thing. Well, let's cheat a little bit first, just to see if we can get some information back. Before doing anything, just go in here and send something back. See, this item is still null. But it's no longer giving me the type error anymore. So now we need to find out why it's not returning the right item there. Mail read data is null. Invoke async Blazor. A T value. That's giving a void. We don't want a void. This is just a name and a string. I want to get something complex back. more than just a string. That is. That's just a string. This is just JavaScript, and I want to specifically have information on this one. This is how lengthy it is. You can read this accordingly to the document. 83 minutes to read this thing, and then you have look at this. How big this is. One going all the way down, all the way down, all the way down, all the way down. That's taking you 83 minutes to read. I really think that's a bad job. They should have split this up in several segments. That's the void. Void async. Invoke async. That's just returning a string. Only string. String. This is returning some type of thing. When working with generic types and returning a value, use value task tier result. There's an object. Oh, it should take an object. Object value is red. String, and there's back to the top. Return an object, and to do something with that, set element class. Where's the set element class? There's the set element class. reference elements across components. Element reference can be passed between components because instance is only guaranteed to exist after the component is rendered, which is during or after the component. Oh, that's the reason, I think. Element reference is a struct which can't be passed as a component parameter. For a parent component to make an element reference available to other components, the parent component can allow child components to register callback, invoke a register callback during on after render with pass element reference indirectly. This approach allows child components to interact with parent's element thingy there. This is an element on the HTML part. This is going for the element and setting the class name. Okay. So this is invoking the other one, this one. And changing the color to the class to red on that element. Setting the okay. That's the other way around, going from JavaScript to .NET. That's not what we're looking for. So if we look at this one, element of the class name, the element this is the function that's called element class, that's this one. But it gets an element, but there's also a class name on there. So how does that split it up? I don't know. string. This is the function that's called. And it gets bytes with it. Non-function. Why is that non-function? JavaScript function does not exist. When the function isn't found, the JavaScript exception is trapped. Okay. Extension method. Evokes a specified JavaScript function asynchronously. JavaScript runtime will apply timeouts to this operation based on value configured in default async timeout. To dispatch a call with different timeout and no timeout, consider invoke sync async with a cancel token. Yeah. With some object. You can put something in there. Invoke async. Where's invoke async? All unrelated. It's called JavaScript function. That's the one that we were just in. Component based. Maybe we should go into GitHub and see if there's something that we can get as an example. Klaus Leuvelman. This is all? No, that's not all. That's also a string. That's too easy. Squiggly. So we have to recompile, I think. Possible null, something waited to return. Can we cast it here? We can. Ouch. Where is it? The cast is invalid. Okay. Let's stop this again. These are objects, so that looks interesting. It's giving a bool back. It's giving an object back. WebAssembly Exemplo, I think that's example. Save as file. This is also Monstra Mensae. Not really English. But if we look at that, this is practical. This is not returning anything. This one is giving an object. That's giving just a true or false, I think, because this is a Boolean. Let's have a look at this one. Let's give a Boolean back. This one is giving an object. Swall fire. This is the function, I think. This one also gives a thing back. That's another JavaScript function if you look at this. Maybe I should search for an example that's in English. It's also not in English. Set in local storage. Returns a string. All these items return strings. String notification. Subscribe something. Let's see what this notification thing is. That's the JavaScript part. There's the class. That looks like it. Public class, and then we have public items in there. That's in our case, we have an object here somewhere there. That's a public class with public items in there, but these are nullable. So at least mail read is something similar like this one. Notification. And that's done. Here. This is, in this case, an extension method. Doing the same thing. Where is it? This one. That returns something. Because it's awaiting, it's giving a notification back. Now the question is, where is this used? Jesus. That's used in here. That's JavaScript again, is it? Oh, maybe not. It's a Razor file. Oh, it's not. Notification there. It's putting it afar. Okay. This will send a notification to an API. So let's step back here. That's this one, and it's invoked here, and it's invoking this one. Oh. That's this one. Apparently this is used as a function again. Something. What does it return? Something like this. That returns something like this. That looks like the notification thing. Subscribe and unsubscribe. This returns something to that. This is invoked, I think. Like this, but it's returning a notification. And a notification is some sort of an object. We saw somewhere in there. Maybe I still have it open somewhere. That's a notification. And there you can see it's returning the URL p56 and the auth thingy there. And here, somewhere, where was it? There. But it's not returning an ID. But at least it's returning it like this. Desubscribe something to go back in here. Duplicate tab again. There. That's a notification. The notification is created by at least it's invoked somewhere. There. So if we invoke the notification there, in our case we have not a notification, but we have a mail read item, return value, a return value has something like this. As a mail read item. So what if we turn this around? By taking this out. Make that a mail read item. So according to the other thingy there, it's invoking something like, let's fix this. We want to get a mail read item back. This. Then we say var mail read item is something like this, and it will call the function get email data. Then we go into get email data of the Blazor thingy there. Now let's remove this. No, let's change that. We are going to return the same as we did as we saw here with notification. Let's find a good example here. I think it's this one. It's doing it like this. And these things are exactly the same as, so in here, pick the attachment ID. Attachment name. Subject. And the last one, attachment base something. Let's copy that from this thing. Like so. we get a mail read item. This should be something like this. Oh. But then private, public, okay. Something like this. And now we have to adjust the razor page, because now we no longer have this. We don't need these items anymore. Let's see if it's building. Two succeeded. Now let's have a look. Okay, that's a logical thing, because we haven't selected anything yet here. So let's pick this one. And it's giving nothing in return. Probably because it's going into first render. That's completed, so it's stopping. Let's try it again. F9. Yeah, it's not breaking because it's not connecting to this task pane. Do we get this after render? Should be a way to attach this to some debugger. It's the first render, I think, true. That's this one, set to true. No entry at all in JavaScript, that's called apparently. First render is true. Where is the first render? Then it's going in here. Then it's going to this. Then it's importing the JavaScript thing. Imported. That's there. Then it's finished because this one apparently is not working. Let's go into here. Break. Oh, that's not breaking. Because it's not going into this. After render async calling email data, that's skipped for some reason. It's this one. Go to definition. This should never be empty, but I'm not sure what the subject is. Oh, that's null. Let's try this. It's hard to discover if you don't have a debug option. Now it will break in this one, but this has no host available. There you are, 5. Now this one, probably, see that's null initially. Going in here, getting email. Now we have something. Now we have some information back. F5. But still going in a loop now. Why is it looping? Because it's now giving some object, so that should be good. So if I go in here and then leave the get email data, going there, state changed, then it will initialize the object again, I think, this one. See, it's reset to null. So this is not what we should do here. That's a good find. Close that. Now this one. Bring that back here. Now we have to check if that is null. Why is that not available here? Oh, it's outside the class. I think this is not solving the issue because it's giving the same issue. Has been rendered as false. Change state apparently completely reruns the software there. Is that true? Let's see, because we're now going into the first render. It creates the invoke object. Then we have a nullable thingy there. The email data is getting something back. That's giving some subject, so it's not empty anymore. it's not returning it. It's not needed. Or maybe it should. Because now the state is not saved. That's true. Because now this one is still... Where is it? This one? That's still null because it's not set. This just collects one and it's not saved. Something like this. Yes, rebuild and apply. Oh, oopsie. Let's close Outlook there. Oh, no. Don't do this. Don't run it with issues. Stop it. Stop it. Don't do it. C# extract class code refactor provider encounters an error. Not sure what that was doing, but let's try again. Let's first see if it's building. It's building and run it. Could not read email attachments. Now it's going in. Collects the email item with some information, returning back from the async thing, writing it into the output. There you are. And returning it into this one. That has no information. State has changed. That will update the UI, I think. First render is false. Nil read data is also not null. And it's done. Returning. In. There's the information. That looks promising. So now do this with the attachments. It will still show the same information, but let's do it from here. And it's showing information, that's good. So now let's rewrite this a little bit. Metadata equals null. Let's go into this one. Get email data. This is JavaScript function. So now we should be able to not return this. Let's do this at the end. Reading mail box item. Well, let's do this a little bit different. Don't do this anymore. Just collect some information here. That's the item. Find another return there. Where did I put the return null? Continue, then bring something back. So let's try this. Our subject. Our, what is it? Attachment ID. Name, attachment name. Let's copy this all. Subjects null. Go for the attachments. If there's an attachment, file name. There's file name in here. If it's more than one, then let attachment something like that. That's the file name, attachment name. What is it doing for every item here? File name. Do we have a subject here? The item. Why do we have a subject in here? That's a mail item thing. Oh wait, that's all of this. Yeah, we need to put all these things in. So I need to put in file name here for all these things for now. Because that's the only information we have available yet. If it's failing, then it will show the error in the subject. And it will return attachment ID. Attachment name. Subject. And the base data. Let's see if that still works. Oh, it's still running. Try again. This should get no item. Because there's no item, that's correct. And now get an error back from the system, that's good. Now go to an item with an attachment. Now we get name, some attachment back there, so that's good. First attachment. That works. Now let's bring back the other parts. Go back into get email data. Now we need to revive all the parts in here. We have this one. That's this item. So instead of stopping here, this will just go into for each attachment. This has a list of attachments. That's that one. Let's see. This is handling callback. That's here. Get attachments. This should also all be handled. In the loop. This section. So if it has an attachment, it will put the attachment on the list of attachments. Email item, do we still have that? It's this one. I feel like I'm getting eaten by someone. Email item is not email item. Attachments count, that's already in there. use email count, but we are already in the number there, so that's kind of useless in here. So if there are no attachments, then it will return no attachments. Otherwise it will log the number of attachments. This is not needed anymore because we just counted it. And if there are no attachments, then we are backing out. So this one can go. Which one was it? This one. Then for each of the attachments, we are going to collect the file name, the attachment type, extension, try to get the extension. If there is an extension, then we are going to do something with it. Pushing it to the list. We only push the file name in there. We are. Good evening. Hi, I just wanted to thank you for the gift. This is pushing the file name. Then if there's no, I think that's not working. No item returned. That's not relevant anymore, I think. That's not relevant. attachment ID. This is the thingy that we are handling in here. Email item. I think this is a mess. I think I need to revert all of this back to before we uncommented this, because it was a mess. Because we are now looping through all these items here with each attachment. Then that's a list of attachments. Is going in a loop, so if you have multiple of these things, So we're going in here and then reading the email item. Then we have, if there's no email item, then we are going to back out with the subject equals null. Or you can say no email item. Then we are going to collect the attachments. Let's see, we have a list of attachments on the item, the email item. And if there are more than 0 items, that's 1 or more, go over each of the attachments, collecting the file name. Then we are going to get the type. File extension, and then we are going to push the thing on the list there. And if that is done, length is bigger than 0. JavaScript, so that's something like this. Else that should not happen. No attachments, because that's already would already back out then. Otherwise, we are going to return the name of the first attachment. Just to see if that's working. Build. Let's see what we run into now. That's the initial state, that's true. Error. Let's see what's the logical thing here, because there's no host in here. That's the same error that we had earlier. question is, where is that invoked? Subject's not defined. Let's strip this a little bit. Let's first have a look if it's running in Outlook. Some attachment, this is working. It says no attachment, but it has no item in there. So attachment 1. Do that again. Some attachment 2. Create a new email. Read this to and put in some attachments there. Attachment 2, attachment 1. Some interesting attachments. Attachment 2. Yeah, that's the first one. That's true. Why doesn't it show the ID there? Go back in here, JavaScript thing. If it did not have an extension like the email item, then we did nothing with it. So the next part would be to do this. Let's see, if the email item is null, then we are going to back out. That's already handled, I think. Yes, that's already handled. No email item. So that's not relevant anymore. The attachment count. That's also what we do in here. So that's not relevant either. Then we get the attachment ID. For each attachment, we are going to do something. We get the name, the file name. That's not a file name, that's the attachment name. Attachment name. Welcome. Looking for your name to get in. Blazor Mr. Magoo. Welcome to the stream. Given your name, it looks like you're already familiar with Blazor. Blazor Mr. Magoo. Okay, subscribed even. Thanks for the sub. How are you doing? Where are you from? And what's your background? If you want to share, that is. Let's see, get to the attachments. The attachment ID, do we already have the attachment ID available there? So we're collecting the file name. Oh, yeah, you distracted me with your with the sub, so I was going to make that attachment name. And the attachment type, and the type is if it's an item, then we are going to do. Oh, if it's an item, we are going to skip it because we're not handling items. Otherwise, it will continue. A UK-based 30+ years development, mostly line of business applications. Distracting streamers is my specialty. Well, that succeeded. So you really had a hot week, like yesterday, 41 degrees Celsius in London. The attachment type, file extension, get the file extension, we get the file extension there. And then if there is a file extension, we're going to push the file name on the list, the attachment name on the list, and then we are going to collect the. Indeed, our hoses keep the heat in, so it's still too warm. Yeah. There are several issues these days. If you have a good isolated home, then you're pretty good keeping the heat out. But if you're not, then yeah, your home is adopting the heat, just like this attic here. And then it stay there for a couple of days. Let's get the attachment ID here. Doing something there. Then the next thing would be red brick. Yeah. In the Netherlands, most homes are also red bricks. Heat collectors, yes. Then let's see, we got the attachment ID. This was copied and I should delete it because I wanted to move that. Then I have this thingy there. This is actually getting the information. I've been meaning to catch your stream sometime, so I sometimes have to write Office add-ins, but I've yet to use the fancy new tools for it. That's, I guess you mean the Office JavaScript API for that. And that can be really complicated, as we've been struggling with it as well here. Now we're going to get the attachment content. That should fill this one. Where's the callback? That's the callback. That should be available. That should fill this one. With the content. This item. See if we can rename that. Mail read object. Did we already use that? Don't think so. That's now renamed here. And now for testing sake, I will go after collecting this. Return the values there. Like so. And just only handle the first one. That's the attachment ID. The attachment name is this one. And the subject will be something related to the item. Not not sure why we collecting the subject. And this one should be the result from this thing, mail read object. Oh. Oops, oopsie. Something like this. Now the question is that flawless? And because we now returning it after one attachment, the last section will be useless, but for now, let's just see if it's working or not. Working or not. Let's see if all the brackets are correct. Try. Catch. Let's build, see if it's working. Two succeeded, so that's good news. What are you creating here? I will explain that. It is an add-in for Outlook, and I'll show you in a minute when it's starting. So an Office JavaScript add-in is basically a website hosted within the task pane of your host. Like your host is Word, Excel, Outlook, PowerPoint, and some others, I think. So outside the host, the website is basically not working properly because it's expecting, in this case, an Outlook environment. So if you go to Outlook here, and we have this button there, if I select this email item, the add-in is now lighting up, and I'm able to select this, and hopefully it would function, but it's not. It's giving an error. But what we are doing is trying to read the attachment information there and to see what is actually in there. And I usually I used to be a .NET developer for Office, building Visual Studio tools for Office add-ins. But I'm now trying to shift to Office JavaScript APIs, and I created some Blazor sample add-ins on the official Microsoft repo on GitHub. Let's see if I logged in here. Go to my profile there, my repositories. There is the Office add-in samples fork. And if you go to the origin, that's the official Microsoft repo, and I created these to create Blazor WebAssembly assembly Excel add-in and Word add-in. These are basically the task panes that you can create in Excel and in Word. This one is Excel and the other one is in Word. And I'm now working on an add-in in Outlook. But it's currently failing because it's kind of complex. Email item is not defined, and that's probably true because I think it was named differently. So this is the index.razor.js. I think there's an email item that should not be in there anymore. Let's close this. Let's start it again. After fixing that, there's the JavaScript thing. So basically the purpose of my my demos, my projects here is to show that you can actually use .NET to develop your add-ins. And the only thing that you need to do to interact with Office is to interop with JavaScript with the Office APIs. And there's the email item that's failing. To interact with Office, with the Office host, in this case Outlook, and everything else you can do in .NET. So if you're proficient in developing your Blazor websites and giving your name Blazor Mr. Magoo, it sounds like you are already proficient in building Blazor applications. Then you can do just that and interact with Office using the way it's done here. Now I wonder why it's not showing that email item. There's also no reason to collect the email item here. Because we already have that, so let's just kick that out. So basically the only thing that we are collecting here is the base64 information. And that should be stored in here. And that we can see in the console if it's working. So let's first find if we have more email items. Oh. There's another one. That's not what it should have. Also, we are already having attachments here. So this should be attachments. There's another one. Good. Let's try that again. So if you're in the UK, then it's probably almost midnight. 1 hour difference to the Netherlands. It's almost 1 AM here. Let's see what is failing on the website, because it's, even if it's not in the host, it should not do anything with that. It's not reading the item. because there is no item, should cover that. And you see if we make this smaller, this is actually the way it looks like in the task pane in Outlook here. Select this email item that lights up this thing, and I can open the add-in there. There you are. It has the name of the attachment. Why does it have? Doesn't it have the subject and the base 64? Is that hard coded? JavaScript file there. It is not hard coded, but it's returning. It's returning this, I think. Attachment. That should be called at least attachment. Let's have a look at the console output here. So it's counting two attachments, some attachments, and it's type file, and the type is saying, oh, and you also see that it's giving the attachment ID back. Yeah. Yeah, and then this one, it's called mail read object for promise. That's not good because I renamed that. In the process, you can see that it's actually picking up the right value, but it's not returned. So there's this little bug in there again. No. Looking for this one. Oh, and it's just an incorrect logging thing because it's named like this, but it's not returning this. Oop, that was my mic. And the attachment ID is also not in there. Attachment name was also not in there, I think. Where is it? There. Oh, it's not showing the ID. Let's close this and then go out of there. Go in the razor thingy there. What do we have here? That's the Blazor add-in sample. Then if the read data not is null, it's showing bold subject, but I also want to show the ID. First attachment name. Attachment ID. Then attachment name. And then this is not returned. No, it's already gone. This will put it on a new line and it will probably say not available here. So let's see if we can also get the attachment ID and the information there. Hydrate. So it starts with could not read email data because that's the initial value. Then it's going in here. If first render. In this case, it should know that there is no host available, so it should skip this. Going to get email data. This will go into the JavaScript function get email data. That's this one. And there should be no item there. This one is already failing. If you're not in a host, in the Outlook host. So for that reason, this is giving an error. But in case of Outlook, you're now in the host. Now you see the ID is available. Ooh, that's a big ID. Oh. Basically, base 64 ID. That's used to collect the base 64 attachment data. But there's no subject here and no, yeah, why there's no subject? That's strange. It does have it does have a thingy there. Do we have a subject in the information there? Doesn't look like it. The base 64 data is collected. This is the one that you saw on the screen for the ID. And that for that reason is it was not printed on the task pane because it's completely unreadable. But let's see why the subject's not printed. Item subject. Is that also the name on the property? Yeah, subject. We have two, subject and subject. I think it should be the lowercase one. So why is this? Why does it get this one? Subject. Let's search for the official reference there. Unified API and email. That's a graph. Message ID is different than the unified API message ID. That's interesting. Attachment ID is different than the Office 365 unified API attachment ID. That's also interesting. Attachment contents returned by the Office Unified API are base64 encoded twice. Really? Interesting. So when is this dated? 2015, so that's probably solved, I guess. I was going to the Office official documentation there. Mailbox item. Properties. That's subject with a lower s. Return type is a subject thingy, and subject is set async. Give a get async. Get async, yes. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Why is this so difficult? It's not done easy. Where you're used to have the subject earlier before, I think. Where's my Visual Studio? There it is. It's kind of annoying if you go to JavaScript here. You have to go to, what is this squiggly? Yeah, because there's a dot. What item subject get async? For subject, then do it like this. So not to confuse it with this one. Let's try that. F5, 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 so this will fail because it's not hosted. Now let's select this one. And that's giving an error. Item subject get async is not a function. Oh, really? Returns a string. Where's the get subject? Subject. Read item. So where do you see that it's returning a string? Link straight to the subject. Copy. Try to do that again. Copy. There it is. So what's the difference between this one then? And the example that we just saw with the callback in there. Because I agree with you, I would expect, and I think I used that earlier. Where's my other window there? I do seem to remember that actually used the string there. Where is it? JavaScript there. So in this case, we would expect it to be like this with the lower caps and no callback. So I'm not sure why the callback item is used there, and this is obsolete because we can do that in here. Before this I picked the one with the capital S, and that's not what we need here. So let's kick that out again. Let's try that. That's what I mean with these confusing APIs on the OfficeJS APIs. There's a lot of confusion around a lot of items there. That's supposed to happen, so now go in here. Now it's working. That's the subject of the email. And we get this big ID. That's not interesting at all. First attachment wise, that's split to 2 lines. Oh, that's just because it's scrolling. Oh, and it's also moving the menu. Really should clean things up here because the counter is not used anymore. So that's good, but we still need to get the attachment data, and the attachment data is provided. Really don't like those async methods with callbacks. No, neither do I. I think the origin from this was that they started with using promises in the JavaScript stuff, but they reverted back to somewhat more function styled coding. Mail read objects. As this is the only thing returned. Now let's see the function. Yeah, it is executed. Let's make that attachment content. That's the callback. Let's see if we can make that output twice. Should be in scope now. Wow, it's 1:22 a.m. already, and I need to get up at 6 a.m. What are we doing here? That's expected. Now go back in here. Oh, whoopsie. Yeah, because I just renamed that Smarty Pants. Oh. My cursor highlighted. Better. To Outlook, select an email item, go in there, and it's still empty. Why is it still empty? Not available. Oh wait, that's let's check that, because that's on the Razor page. Showing not available, but this is returning this. attachment-based data is let's just copy that and see what if we put it in here. Force it in. I don't think it's hot reloading. Oopsie. Value cannot be null. $53. Index eraser CS 53. That's what we just CS 53. That's a strange thing. I think this is just kicking it out. Good luck. Time for me to go. Hope you catch you soon again. Yeah, I need to wrap up myself because it's 1:30 a.m. already. And that's way too late for me as well. So I'm also going to wrap up. Thanks for attending this stream and hope to see you next time. I think probably on Tuesday or Thursday next week. Thanks for the sub. Great. It was good to meet you, Blazor, Mr. Magoo. Give him a round of applause. I love it to interact with people on the chat. Especially if they give him solutions like the subject that returns just a string. Thanks for that. Yeah, nice to meet you too. Let's see, because now something failed I think in the Razor page. I think this is just not available there yet. I'm not sure why the attachment-based data is not showing. It's getting there too late. One more try. Let's see if we get something back, and otherwise we are calling it a day for today. At least we got some object properties back now instead of just the name. And the output is visible in the log, but we want it to display on the task pane as well. Let's take out the breakpoints there. Clear all breakpoints. Where are they? Delete all breakpoints, yes. F5. Going into the Outlook, back there and open it. And it's still not showing, but it's showing in the, if you go to the inspector, if you go to console, there you see, you actually fill the variable there as well. Whenever this happens, it should go back. Because here's already the done thing. And that's rendering. If that's doing that, then it's already rendered on the task pane. In here, apparently when we are reading this, get email data from here, it says done at some position there. That's in here. So when it arrives here, this did not read the attachment yet. That's later on. Because we see that done here again. Why is this done twice? Returning from get email. That's this one. Then we get it done again. So why is it twice done? First render is false. If first render is true somewhere. Well, let's leave that for the next stream, because that's, I think, it's just a matter of debugging. Let's wrap it up. It's 12:30 already, and I really need to wrap it up. I already get a dry throat also. My water is almost running out. Thanks for watching, everyone. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe and hit the bell. Or if you're on Twitch, subscribe or follow, whatever you like. And hoping to see you back next week on Tuesday or on Thursday. I won't be there tomorrow because, as I said at the beginning of stream, we are going to a KISS concert tomorrow in Amsterdam, in the Amsterdam Ziggo Dome. And yeah, so I won't be available to live stream tomorrow. Thanks for watching and hope to see you next week. Bye bye.